Welcome to MenSpeak Radio. I must admit, no offence to all our guests. Why do I sound so tinny? Do I sound... Make me sound sexy, James.
Yes, boss.
There you go. Look at that. With the twiddle of a knob, magic happens. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
He wants to be watched twiddling the knobs.
So this week, welcome to MenSpeak Radio. I think I said that bit. This week we get to hang out, and my inner DJs are playing. Is it Simon and Garfunkel that did Old Friends? Do 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 do. Book ends or something like that. Do you know what I'm on? No, you lot are so young. Apart from you, Max, you're my age.
You're older.
Oh, thank you. What I love about when we do these the groups is we just get to be us. We get to hang out, and it does feel like old friends today. For some reason, it's like for me to be with you four. It's a real sense of belonging and familiarity. I've only known you. How long have I known you? A year? Not even
about a year. Yeah.
Not even that though, eh?
I first spoke to you in December.
Oh yes, you did.
Yeah,
because we were on.
You were on the first show, so we were in communication in December. So it's been about a year.
I remember, and now I'm in the studio. So moving swiftly on from my inner DJs. So we're going to hold a men's group. Before you hold your own, go to mensgroups.co.uk. Download the ground rules, and we're not going to bore you by reading the ground rules, but please read the ground rules. Mensgroups.co.uk. And my bell's in my bag. Do us a favour, James.
Is it outside?
Yeah, it's
Fine.
the black one with lots of zips. Before we start, we agree.
Just want to say before I leave the room, you know, I'm the producer here. No dirty talk.
Also, it's in a red kind of cloth thing.
Sounds dirty already.
Do you need that as well?
No, just the bell,
Quick ad break on.
Nah. We're very good at gap filling. What? So what we do is check out the ground rules, then everyone agrees to the ground rules, and or haggles them or changes them or whatever. And the object of the exercise is the ground rules belong to all of us. We've kind of agreed. And after we've agreed to the ground rules or not, once we're all satisfied, then we have 2 minutes silence. Is 2 minutes too long on the radio? We usually do, 30
you
seconds?
You can do
or
whatever
something.
you want, Kenny. Don't worry.
Consensus. How many minutes do we want?
1 minute's fine too.
1 minute. Right. Let me whip out my magical golden bell. It's a bit wrapped up, eh? Hello, bell.
See, my inner DJ now is playing that song, Bell Bottom Jeans, Boots with the Fur. Thank you, Bertie. I was getting the most confused look from Kenny. So I'm very happy that you helped me out there. Kenny was like, what are you on about?
You two are like verging, getting into double actism. Right, okay. So, read the ground rules, agreed the ground rules, 1 minute silence. Here we go. Good news during that minute was I remembered that I owe you a score.
Really? Live on air as well.
Exactly.
Am I going to get paid live on air as well?
Nah.
We can leave it to after the show, don't worry.
No, let me do it now, otherwise I'll forget. A score for those of you in outside London, uncool, don't know that. Do you not know what you know what a score is, don't you?
Yeah.
What's the score? Do you two know?
It's like 2-0 or 3-1.
That's exactly what the score is, yes. Exactly.
Don't say I've lost it. I took out 20 quid earlier. It's 20 quid, isn't it? It's a score.
It's a score, do you know what I mean? It's a score, geezer.
Right.
I don't pretend to be Cockney, so no.
While I look for my 20 quid, you can check in. Over to you.
The sound of that man slowly dying is Bertie in the corner, by the way, in case you were wondering. Checking round. My name is James Edward Blake. I feel relaxed. What I want from this group is just to relax, have a bit of fun, talk to some cool people. My age is 24. My Chinese sign is pig. My Western sign is Aquarius. My sexuality is straight, heterosexual. I am single, a father. I just found that one out. I'm single.
Congrats.
I'm
I think I can congratulate you. Can I?
Yeah. I guess it's a good thing.
A lot of people would take that seriously, or should I take that seriously? Have you just found out that you're a father?
I hope not.
It happens. It really happens, you know.
Yes.
I would be very surprised, let's put it that way. I would be very surprised.
Beyond immaculate conception.
Yeah. I'd be like, hang on a minute. The last time I cried is... It's been a very long time since I properly cried, but it was last time I saw my nan in hospital. Last time I ejaculated was... Today is Wednesday, so Tuesday night. Unfortunately, the tissues were just for show. My greatest fear right now...
Too much information. That was just... Things are getting out of hand.
We're not even like... We're like 10 minutes in. My greatest fear right now is... losing my nan... But probably just dying of heat exhaustion in this room, to be honest with you, because it's already getting hot already. I hated the tube last night. I'm just going to say that. It was really packed and I left here at like 11 o'clock at night. Who's getting the tube at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night? I love where we are at the moment. I think there's a great like energy in the room, you know what I mean? Great like atmosphere, so I'm really loving that. And I'm done checking in. That's what I am. So
Thank you.
Passing it over.
Righty-ho. My name's Max Hatvany. I'm feeling quite apprehensive. I've never been on radio, really. What I want from this group is actually to pretend that the radio is not here, really. Because I really like the men's groups. I've been going for several years now, and it's a very intimate conversation. And to do it on the air is just, I just want to ignore that fact. My age is, I'm 55, I'm a dragon, and I'm Sagittarius. I'm heterosexual. I'm separated, divorced, have a father of two grown-up kids, 22 and 25, girl and boy and girl, whatever. And last time I cried I cried in an animation.
What?
Yes.
What kind of an animation?
Just claws. It was a silly children's animation.
Oh.
And it was just so sad and sweet. And that's the thing, you know, I can't seem to cry about my own sad life, but I can certainly cry very, very well in a good drama.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I love it when it does that.
Yeah.
You know, when I see it. So, yeah, dramas, sad shows make me cry. It's such a cleansing.
So when you cried during this animation, did you feel cleansed? Or did
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, this is sort of cathartic cleansing, don't you think? I mean, yeah, definitely.
So do you use stuff like that as a vehicle to empty out?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to make me cry. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
I think it's the best movie when they make you cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so odd that I can't do it. It was so difficult to do in my own life. I think rather than cry, I would just get angry.
Mm.
And that's I think we've been taught as men is men don't cry. They just get angry. They get even.
And sadly, it's either anger out or anger in.
Mm-hmm.
And the anger in can so easily turn into depression and stuff like that.
Oh, God, yeah. I saw a guy, these two cars this morning, they were just like at loggerheads, and they were causing this huge traffic jam. Neither one of them would back down. One of them got out of the car, and it's just like, it's so unnecessary. It's just so unnecessary.
And I'm guessing 9 times out of 10 with stuff like that, it's not about the road rage. It's about whatever this is about.
Yeah, they're hung up on something that they can't get out. And that's why it's so important to cry.
Yeah.
You need to let go, you know. And yeah.
Easier said than done for a lot of people, though.
But when you see a man crying, you think weakness.
Really? Do you?
Well, I think that. I think a lot of people would think that I was weak if I was crying.
I often think
And
how unsymmetrical.
The last time I really cried at work, when I had my job, I cried in front of them, and it just totally disarmed everybody.
Yeah.
And it disarmed me, and I didn't feel in charge anymore of what I was trying to bring across. And so crying in front of people to defend my position seemed impossible because it distracted. So it's really nice to just cry quietly in front of a dramatic movie. Yeah.
When I see a man cry, generally it's, I guess, in a group or, and it's vulnerable about something that matters, and I feel more let in. I think, thank God that you feel safe enough to go there,
right?
And that we're connected enough that you can open up and let this pass.
Yeah, in the groups you create that space, though. There's a space for that.
Right.
There's a space for emotional talk amongst men.
Yeah, rather than daily life. And
I think. Yeah, I've just this theory that men weren't supposed to cry because there was no time for it.
Yeah,
they had to make things work, and they had to lead things. If they were afraid or fearful or sad, the line would kill them.
Yeah.
So you just had to be really, really present.
Is that a positive use of so-called toxic masculinity? Because that's not the time to stand and process your feelings. That's the time to kill rather than be killed.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be present, and you're, as men, I feel like we're more mechanical. We're like, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
What's the next thing to do? Whereas the emotions are supposed to be in the back seat somewhere. Whereas I think women kind of go for the putting emotion. They do it through their emotions and with their emotions, and I think that's where what the demand is now for men to be with their emotions rather than rage. It's rage instead of crying. Crying is weakness.
And I feel we're very lucky as well that we live in an age where men and women can own both negative and positive, rather than men have to be masculine and women have to be feminine. We can allow, as a man, I can allow my masculine and my feminine. And I feel with the crying thing, I wonder whether that's old boy programming. I did a video. What's my YouTube called? Do you know what it's called? The YouTube? Or do you just type in YouTube men's groups or Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz?
Which video?
Boys don't cry, but men do.
Yeah, just type in like boys don't cry, Kenny DeCruz.
Oh, really? Simple as that. So you don't even... Right.
But Kenny does.
But
no.
I think it's a really important thing because a lot of boys, it's like boys need to prove their masculinity, where men surely need to allow themselves to have their masculine and feminine power, so we can be whole rather than proving. Anyway, I can't believe this is your first time on the show. You just like engaged straight in there with your radio voice. You're just brilliant.
Yeah, no, I think it's just, yeah, thank you. And I just think that there's a whole, there needs to be it's a culture thing, so I think that it's such a difficult thing for men and women to accept that men can cry too, and it can be okay, And at the moment, it's not quite okay because we have that in our mindset. I think when it becomes okay, and we can, that's one of the things I really love about the men's group is there's the space to really hash out the emotional stuff without being grandiose or pretending to be more than one is. And there's a real grounding in the event because of it. And I'm sure women experience the same thing when they speak truly from their emotions. Yeah, and it's that's what's so inspiring about the men's group is I can really move forward after doing the men's group each month. Anyway, so I continue.
Oh yeah.
The last time I ejaculated, I ejaculate so much. I ejaculate every day, sometimes twice a day, and often before meeting a pretty woman because I don't want sex to be the issue.
That's well managed. So you take the edge off.
Take the batter out. Out of the equation.
Anyway,
my greatest fear, I guess, is that I don't know. I don't want to be alone. I'd like to have a partner in my life, and I've been in about 5 or 6 different relationships now since I separated about 6 years ago, and it's starting to scare me that I'm not able to share with someone else. Okay.
Now that's a really good advertisement.
Everybody out there, are you listening?
Nice one.
I hate what I saw this morning. This guy getting out of the car, being angry with the other person, and causing all this huge traffic jam and everybody else upset and disruption. I love being in men's groups, and I've already forgotten that I'm on radio, and I'm happy to be here. That's it.
Thank you. Over to you, Bertie.
Oh, you've got this one.
No. He's got his own
that one.
One thing is watch about banging the table. Not that anyone has, because that sends the.
It just makes a very loud noise.
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Bertie. I feel. I suppose I do still feel a bit ill. I had the flu recently. Yeah, and I just feel a bit flat and empty, and also just like a confusing mixture of emotions. Yeah, so stuff that's like come up which I don't really understand quite fully yet. Yeah, it could be to do with the illness, but could be not. So hopefully I'll kind of unpack that a bit during this and get to the bottom of it. So what I want from the group is share, listen, have a joke about. 26, Chinese sign monkey, Western sign Capricorn. Sexuality is straight, single. Last time I cried was a couple of days ago. Last time I ejaculated was yesterday. my greatest fear right now.
Would it be infecting all my equipment with your flu?
No, I don't give a shit about that.
I have some concerns.
I hate...
So no greatest fear right now.
No, I can't think of anything.
Fair enough.
Hate... I hate when I feel stuff and I don't know where it came from or what it means or how to move on from it if it's uncomfortable.
And once you know or pretend you know, does it shift?
Sometimes, yeah.
And do you know, or do you kind of find an answer that kind of fits? Like in the past, have you known?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like sometimes I can pick up other people's emotions and not even realize it, and I'll go away feeling. And Paul, you're actually the one that kind of showed me this, and it was like, yeah, sometimes I just feel like really shit or really like anxious or scared or just some weird negative emotion out of nowhere, and then I realize the person I was hanging out with a few hours before or something, that was exactly how they were feeling, or that was how they're feeling and pretending not to feel or something like that. So
so you'll pick up their shadow emotions, I guess, and you'll carry them.
Yeah, because sometimes they can be like really hyper and like bubbly, but then there's like a bit of a tinge to it where it's like you can tell they're kind of running away from something.
Yeah.
And then, I might pick up that emotion that they're repressing.
And when you do you have a way of letting it go so it doesn't kind of attach itself to you?
I mean, not really. I mean, there's a thing you taught me, which is just like breathing and closing your chakras. And then apart from that, normally once I realize and I just kind of let it go, then that helps me move on a bit.
I'll tell you what, the reason I ask that is I find, similar to what Max was saying about males need to fix things, it's also, I feel, males or people need to know, and there can be emotions around sometimes, and it's like, I have a feeling. Now, what story can I give this feeling so I can feel in control of the feeling rather than vulnerable with the feeling? And it could be, it's because of this that happened, or this that I'm anxious about, or I can blame my mother or this school or society for this. And it's almost like, actually, it's just a feeling that needs to pass, and sometimes it doesn't need a story, it just needs to be felt past. But I used to feel a lot more in control, knowing the story behind my feeling. And it's been quite a big deal to sometimes not have a story. It's like, no, it's this like feeling turd that just needs to pass. That like good feelings pass, bad feelings pass, good thoughts, everything, all things will pass. Anyway,
But what do you do if it just carries on for ages?
Personally, then I wonder why it's there. It's like, I wonder what this is trying to tell me. So I'd act like it's a messenger, and I might go into the feeling and follow the feeling to see where it takes me. But that involves a certain amount of safety, or maybe even connection. So I feel safe that I can go into deep, dark places because I've got you lot, I've got the men's groups, I've got close friends, I've got my wife, I've got people I can, say, you never believe what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling or what's going on. But maybe I remember before I had all of these people and the ability to talk and know what my feelings are, I'd think, no way am I going to cry, because if I start, I may never stop. No way am I going to take the lid off, because if I start thinking and processing my past, I might just go mad and it will all crowd in and fall in on me, and I'll be so out of control and overwhelmed, which is why I feel it's really good to have someone or people to kind of walk beside and to debrief with, or to laugh with, or to get a break from all of this, to get it in perspective. Because I can my wife said to me, alcoholism, drug addiction, sex addiction, whatever, not sure that that's what it's about. She said, I wonder if it's addiction to our thoughts and maybe our feelings about where it's really at, and then the drink, drugs and sex and everything else helps us to survive our thoughts and feelings and somehow fill the hole, as it were. But yeah, I believe I'd like to think that you feel safe enough as well, that you can go in and you've got people around who'll hold you if you fall apart, just to know, because knowing is enough. I'd say it rarely happens, and when it happens, that's all right. That's part of life too. It's turning the corner, it's going through it. Sadly, I believe a lot of people are so busy avoiding and surviving their feelings rather than feeling in and feeling through and getting the goodness and having so much of a bigger, richer life on the other side. Where avoiding them, I know when I did, I was much smaller and I didn't touch the sides. I barely existed. Now, shut me up.
It's about taking that stuff with you, right? It's
exactly.
It's including it. You don't have to like squeeze yourself into something. You can now just go, okay, this is all of me.
Yeah.
And then there's more authenticity.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, even being shy or just being with that, or being uncomfortable, just being with it. It really, when you're with it, then it's not running you.
Exactly.
And when you're trying to shove it down, it's running you.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's my experience, yes.
I think that's spot on. And I feel that when I name the story, I'm disempowering the story, and the story doesn't own and run me. And I can take the story along, turn the volume down, because I'm not the old story, and write my new story. And what you're talking about, that level of authenticity, with that, there is more of you to love, rather than just a cheap act that you think people want.
Right.
So, yeah.
We're all trying to give what we think people want.
I'm not
It's
sure
exhausting.
that I want to be part of that.
It's exhausting, isn't it? Yeah.
When I used to do that,
Yeah.
and I catch myself with that less and less, thankfully.
Maybe it's with age. We're just
Yeah.
old.
And surely that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And why wait until you're older? Like, the time is now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how much do you hate Bertie for being who and where he is at his age? Do you know what I mean? He deserves punishment. What we had to go through, and you're just handing it over?
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
That was the hate. I love music and getting insights and remembering stuff I'd forgotten, which I'd like good memories as well as bad memories. I am feeling pretty mellow.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is Paul. I feel mixture between calm and nervous. Nervous after listening to Max's intro. I was like, how am I going to compete with that?
It's no competition.
Exactly.
Just
It
being
felt like it
myself.
What do I want from this group? Free group in it. I think I said that last time.
I don't think
free
you did.
group.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking that last time.
Yeah.
Free group. Oh, okay.
Rather than, because otherwise it's like 25 quid or,
okay.
or £15 concession.
That's right. I've been paying for these things. Yeah.
But it's cheap as chips.
Oh, it is.
As groups
bloody
go.
hell, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think but it depends. Surely it's a perspective thing, because I've had. Sorry, I'm jumping in on you.
No.
I've had people who have lots of money, but they feel that they're unable to earn money, and they've been trained to preserve their assets, where it's a lot. And because maybe they're not earning, they're just collecting rent or something. It's like, I'm not earning, so therefore I'm a concession, surely. Meanwhile, I've had people who come from relatively impoverished backgrounds who are earning money, who think, £25, God, that's value, because there's space for me, and it's like, I don't go to therapy, and it's cheaper than that. And their relationship to money is very different. And so I'd say, it doesn't matter how much you've got or not, it's like, where are you coming from? And how do you feel? Not only about money, but I guess about self-worth, and about parting with, sharing rather than this is I guess my niggle thing, sharing rather than hoarding. So I'll pass back to you and stop talking now.
No, it's cool. I've always felt like I've had value, whether it's free or not free. So it's like there's been something there. So whether I get to talk much in the group or I get to listen most of the group, it's still valuable for me. So
Why?
It would be hard to say what value I got from each one, but it was always different, and things always shifted after. So, yeah. My age, 42. Chinese sign snake. Western sign is Taurus. I'm straight. Stepfather. With a partner. Last time I cried, it was a long time ago actually. So it was that movie Monster Calls.
I really enjoyed that.
That put me in pieces.
Yeah,
it really did. And I think probably need to watch it again at the moment just to start the process of
Monster Calls.
Monster Calls.
Oh, Monster Calls. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to see that one.
Movie.
Right, I'm on it.
It messed me up in a good way. I felt empty after.
Okay.
So, like having a big shit. Last time I ejaculated was last night. My greatest fear right now, I can't think of anything in particular. I've thought these bits out though. I hate retail Christmas. I hate retail Christmas. So all the shopping and the bullshit and the all the sales now and the advertising and stuff like that. And I love family Christmas. So they're two separate things in my head.
They really are two separate things.
Yeah. And it's try not to get them too
Trying to
muddled
blur
up.
that line to
Yeah.
it, isn't it? Yeah, between do I have to go out and do retail therapy with the family, or do I just sit at home and watch a Christmas film and make some food? You know, that's a fine line to walk.
Definitely. I like the rest. I like when everything stops, even if it's just for one day.
Yeah. The lights and stuff and like the atmosphere in the air I like, but then it's the sales and all that nonsense I cannot
It's
stand.
the busyness.
And eating too much.
When
you're together with family, you just eat too much.
I love that part.
Well, you've got room to spare. I don't. I'm full.
Capacity.
I've got some tires here.
I am happy at the moment.
I'm going to miss you when you go. I've been thinking
Yeah, me
about it
too.
a lot. It's strange, eh?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
someone's
Yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
Very strange. And also this Christmas being with the family. And then you abandoned them. Kind of a bloke are you?
Don't talk about abandoning is hot topic at the moment in the
Really?
house.
Wow. It's a big deal, eh? And even though logically it's obviously not true, logic and emotions can be worlds apart. Right, my name is Kenny. I feel very happy just to be hanging out, basically. And it's been fun so far. What I want, I guess, is to check in a bit. And I'm not sure what about, because life can be so fast and busy that it's just go, go, go. And to be able to stop and feel what's been happening and check in with it is worth its weight in gold. I am 55, Virgo, dragon, straight, married. Do you know, the last time I cried is I find that when blokes get to the last time I cried, it's almost embarrassing. When it comes to the last time I ejaculated, it's just no big deal, whatever.
I realise
It's
that as well,
ridiculous, isn't it?
It's like, oh, last night, whatever, fine. And it's like, last time I cried, it's like, I don't know about that.
And you know what? When you said it, I thought, oh my God, we're going to be doing this check-in round. And I have to say that the last time I cried was watching a princess rom-com.
I shouldn't laugh, it's really bad.
Oh, it was just so good. And I was with my wife, and it was after I hadn't seen her for a while. She was in Italy, and I'd been working hard, and we got home and we ate, and what should we do now? And she said, oh, I know you don't like rom-coms, but... And I went, oh, go on then. And she said, look, it's a princess one. It's for little girls. And I just thought, oh, go on, it'll be rubbish. It doesn't matter. I could fiddle on my phone while it's on. And it was gripping. It was just absolutely amazing. It's called Princess Switch.
Okay.
And there's a princess and a kind of like normal working woman, not a prostitute, working as in working in a cafe or something. I don't remember.
We'll go to Princess. That would be a movie one.
Well, that's what they call working girls, sadly, isn't it? It's like, anyway, and they she was a baker, that's right. They accidentally met, and then, cut a long story short, they switched roles because they looked so like each other. And then the pastry chef, or whatever you want to call her, fell in love with the prince and opened his heart. And the other one fell in love with the guy who owns the pastry shop. And it was just absolutely wonderful. And the time that I cried, and I hid it from my wife, is when the prince declared his love for the woman, irrespective of who she is. And it's like it's the handsome prince. Oh, this is so funny! I didn't realise it was the handsome prince telling the woman who's not the princess that he loves her, and it was that declaration of love, and that love prevailed everything. And I wasn't sobbing because I wasn't alone. So yeah, Princess Switch, save it for Christmas. It's such a good. Was it a Christmas movie? I don't remember. But I didn't know that I like princess rom-coms. I hope it's a one-off. Okay, the last time I cried, last time I ejaculated last night. Greatest fear right now.
I think it's Christmas. There's no, like, everyone's in too good of a mood to have a fear. That makes sense.
But then a lot of people at Christmas fear being alone for the rest of their lives, and it can be a very, very lonely time.
It can be, yeah.
Which is why, partly, you're putting on the extra men's groups online.
Yeah.
And I've done that every year because people need to check in, whether they're isolated and they just need to check in rather than checking out. There are a lot more suicides, as well as, obviously, eating and alcoholism and drug abuse and everything to fill the hole and that loneliness. So there's check-in to relieve isolation. And also a lot of men check in so they can have a space for them, because going to the family home can be, why have I turned into a rebellious little boy? I'm 65, God damn it, and I'm still acting like their child. So it's checking in with, there's got to be some space for me in this madness. So, yeah. It's MenSpeak online, mensgroups.co.uk, or where do people go to sign up? I don't know. You look it up, Google it. Why should I know this? Okay, that brings us very nicely into I hate computers and the internet and social media and all of that. And more than that, I realise, this is new to me, I realise that I hate seeing other people's lives and judging people, whether it's good or bad, or whether it's an act or not. I'm just full of judgment, and I get into dismissal, competition, I gloat, all sorts of nonsense.
It's a nasty thing.
I hate it.
That social media judging thing, it's a nasty thing.
I don't think it's healthy.
No, it's not. It's proven not to be healthy. And studies have been done.
Was it you that said studies have been done that it's kind of like a Coke thing?
Yeah, it releases the same chemical in your brain that cocaine does.
ridiculous.
When you go on social media and you do that whole judging thing, you're like, oh, I'm so much better than him. Oh, look at them. It's the same neurological process as doing cocaine, which is the same as gambling. It's the same as lots of things. It's the release of serotonin, I want to say.
And I love that I'm going to have much more of a social media presence, and I don't have to do it. Ha, ha, ha.
You just be dumping on other people, right?
Thank you. Well, we've got so much stuff in the diary or schedule or whatever it is you call it for next year, plus so much more that we're going to make. And I've got no problems. Bertie holds up a camera and says, right, we need what was it the other day? We need 15 minutes talk for a student thing in Dublin or whatever it was that wanted me to talk about blah, 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 whatever it was. And top of my head, I did it. And it was so easy. I can do that. But to have to click the buttons and see who likes me and who doesn't like me and who likes other people more, and that they shouldn't like them because I'm prettier or older or smarter or you've been around longer. This competition shit. It's like, I don't need it. So good that it's going out. Good that I'm going to be available and we can pass things on. Thank God I don't need to be the tart pressing the buttons. I am feisty. Done. Well, that was a bit of a check-in round, eh?
Yeah.
Shameless ejaculation and princess switch.
And fear of crying.
Fear of crying, indeed. Where shall we go, chaps? What's up, would you say? Anyone?
Christmas.
You want to go Christmas?
Yeah, let's talk Hanukkah.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Do a round of Christmas.
Yeah. Whatever it is about Christmas.
Whatever it is about Christmas for me. I have actually the choice of being alone for Christmas, because my son wants to go. He's down in Brighton University. He wants to go to south of France, where my parents are, and see all his best friends are down there. He grew up in the south of France. I feel like I should go
with him to the south.
Yes,
of
to be
France.
with my parents, to be with some family. Most of my brothers and sisters are in America, and my daughter is in California with my ex, and so But one of the things is what occurs for me is I run away from shoulds. I don't. When there's a should, it's like, do I really want to go? There's a difference, isn't there?
I also feel that the biggest gift that I've seen you give yourself since I've known you, which is 10 years or something, I don't know, maybe less, is you have taken your own space and you are living your own life with your boundaries, and you so exist now. And I've noticed that since you've existed more, you've been more popular. People have loved you more.
Right.
Because there is a you to love, rather than you second guessing who they are or just disappearing.
I'm not even used to people loving me.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like, what the hell? Why do you love me?
I don't know how to do it.
I'm so used to being isolated
Yeah.
and alone. And I think one of the things my mother was like, "Oh, you're so good at playing on your own, Max." I think I've sort of brainwashed into it. And
but then with lots of kids, it's like,
yes,
God,
I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and
Yeah.
so she encouraged that. I think the only person that really made me sane was my grandmother, who was really interested in who I was, what kind of a person I was, and that really allowed me to she was Everybody else was ADHD, including myself, actually.
Until when? Because that's changed.
It's changed because the men's groups really helped a lot, and I did a lot of therapy. But therapy only feels like verbal diarrhea. I feel like I've done a big emotional poo, and I still feel isolated. But with men's groups, hearing other people's issues and talking about my issues and help and also interjecting with other people's issues in the men's group and sharing my own experience of what they're going through really makes me feel a part of something. So when I leave the men's group, even though it's once a month, I feel like a part of something, and it fills me. It fuels me for the month, as it were.
And I guess that's where you've shared yourself. Other people have shared themselves, and people have been interested in you.
Yes, yeah.
And caring.
It's
and
a safe space too. It's not like you're going to be humiliated or
Yeah.
People. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I feel like. I mean, when I was young, it's about getting drunk or getting stoned or something, and then you could let go and blame that. You could blame the being drunk or I was stoned. I was an idiot. And now it's more like, oh, I can be that. I can be silly. I can be stupid. I can talk about fairies and princess movies. That's a really corny movie. I know it. I saw it.
You've seen it? Oh, kidding! I feel so much
so corny
about myself. Did you cry?
No, I'm afraid not.
You don't feel so good about yourself now, do you?
But it's fine, It's like it's okay, And that the most important thing about men's group is it's like, oh, that's he's like that, and he's like that, and he's like that, and the whole sharing of everybody's able to express their uniqueness in a safe space and really learn from each other. And that doesn't happen outside of men's group. It does not happen. And there's not a space for letting go. And and being real. And then I go out and I'm more grounded and there for people. And safe in my own about myself. And and I am making myself my own space. Thank you so much, Kenny. It's just I am. And I'm living on my own for the first time in my life, and that's extraordinary because I grew up the oldest of 6 children. Then I had roommates when I was living in California, and then I met my wife, and I lived with her, and then we had children, and so I've always had other people. And I was brought up, I think, being the oldest, to make sure everybody else was taken care of, and I had this mentality that if other people were happy around me, then I was happy. Instead of the other way around, like, oh, yeah, I can be happy. I can just be happy even though everybody was miserable as shit.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I've not experienced that before. It's been a long journey. It's been a really long journey because that's deeply ingrained in me. Other people's happiness, and every relationship that I've been getting into, it's like I get into this mode of, oh, are they happy? Are they okay? And it's like, no, and then they don't get a sense of me, who I am.
Yeah,
and then it's like this vicious, like, okay, I've done everything I can for this woman, and so the best relationships are when I'm able to be myself, and relax. And I think I've been going on the web and trying so hard, and that when you're trying, you're not being I'm not being myself, and
that's like doing an act rather than being you.
And so now I'm just flirting all the time. I'm not in a relationship right now, but I'm flirting with lots of young women that are half my age. Very inappropriate.
Why is it inappropriate?
I don't care.
As long as it's legal, decent, honest, and truthful.
Well, it is. It's honest and decent. I own it. I own that. I don't know. I'm particularly taken by the energy of young women. I've been with women my age, and it's fine, and yet I enjoy the naivety of young women. And
naivety.
The naivety and the
so
openness,
like the freshness.
They don't know. They're not coming from a knowing so much,
right?
It's just like they're absorbing. They're in a space of absorbing, whereas when they're older and I'm older too, so I should speak for myself too. Coming from a knowing, that's not exactly helpful with being present. So being with young women makes me very present, and not into all my knowing, which I know a fuck of a lot, but that's not helpful.
But you know, in another way, I wonder whether you're at the same stage as these women. Because in effect, you've only just left home and got your own home. You're only just taking your own space and having your own boundaries. You're only just being available for
I can walk
people.
around naked. It's a miracle. It's great.
No, you've
can't
totally
tell you.
interrupted
Sorry.
my flow. Get that picture out of my head.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's a handsome naked boy.
I'm so pleased you think so. And I'm sure half of the people on the internet know that. But what I hear you saying is rather than being lonely, you're choosing to sometimes be alone. And you're getting to know yourself in your space,
Right.
rather than in relationship second guessing other people. Fair to say?
Yes.
And that's powerful. That's
Yeah.
magical. And with that, I get what you're saying about, well, maybe you want to spend Christmas alone.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to ask my son if it's cool for, I'm going to ask him if I'm sure he'll be okay with it, because he probably hang out with his friends for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, look, I think I'm not going to go down for Christmas. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to have a good time down there? I'll call in on Skype or something with my parents and say Merry Christmas. But I think I'll just be with friends. Maybe I'll go to Suicide Hotline and help people.
That's a really nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Really
I've never
nice.
done that. Have you ever done that?
I've not done it, but that'd be such a good thing
I've been
to do.
thinking I should do that one.
It'd be heavy. It'd be like the total
sure.
opposite of kind of Christmas, but
God, yeah, but
it'd be a really good thing to do.
I feel I could really be real with people about and be present for them, and that's what they need, to be heard. I think a lot of suicidal thought is because they don't feel heard. They don't feel there's nowhere they fit, and that's I'm being generalized. I'm being generalizing, but I think the most important thing about being human is belonging.
Yeah.
And even if you're alone, knowing that you belong.
Yeah.
And when I feel that I don't belong, that's when I feel suicidal.
Well, Christmas is it's either like a really happy time or it's a really dark time for people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either or.
Yeah, it's either
It's
or,
just like really steep slopes. Yes.
There's kind of no middle ground in the Christmas area. It's either like really happy.
So you eat.
Yeah.
And lots of comfort food.
Stuff your face.
Yes.
Avoid all emotion, right?
Oh, God.
Exactly. Sometimes it is so much better to be digesting food rather than feeling any feelings at all. Numb me out. Give me some more potatoes.
Oh, sounds good. Not gonna lie.
At the moment, I'm doing more exercise than I've ever done in my life.
How come?
I don't know. I've got this personal trainer. She's hot.
There you go. There you go.
I wonder why.
Your answer.
Yeah.
I wonder if people have said that about you, Paul.
They don't seem to book in. I don't have that effect.
Yeah, he's hot, man. No.
Yeah, but
That's how you met your current woman, right? You were training her.
In
That's
the
it.
gym I met her.
Good.
Yeah, she was like, I'm having you.
I had no choice in the matter.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's often like men make all the moves towards the woman, but actually women are the one that choose. I feel. Really. It's like, that's what I'm feeling. And so I'm just being who I'm being. And eventually one will be like, oh, yeah, I want to hang out with this guy.
I love that women do make moves these days. Because why just wait and hint and
Right.
all of that?
Sorry, we're not all as gorgeous as you, Kenny. Women don't just throw themselves at us.
I'm not sure.
Us mere mortals.
Clearly, it's nothing to do with looks because I'm, 8.5 at best.
Silver fox.
Kidding. But I think it's where you're coming from and availability. And you are available now. And you didn't used to be available. And you are more available than you used to be because your friends are telling you.
That
Exactly.
We spoke about this before the show.
And now it's time to learn how to notice, receive, and respond.
What's the next reaction? For those who aren't aware, I was talking to Kenny before the show. He was like, "You seem like in a really good mood." And I said, "Well, a couple of people have told me, like, you know, she was flirting with you, right?" She was like, and I was like, "No, I didn't have the faintest, I was like, didn't have the faintest idea."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, that's because you're willing to receive now something in your mystical ways."
It's watch this space. I can't wait for the next group because we are going to be getting you hooked up.
That question.
How long has it been, James, since you last were?
Long time.
Don't forget, you're
Too
allowed to
long.
say pass.
Pass. PASS.
I must say, I'm enjoying being single and flirting a lot, and just enjoying the female energy without an agenda, and because, yeah, and in fact,
Do you
yeah.
not think that's the weirdest thing though? You only ever seem to be kind of in sync with that female energy when you're like, you know, like, I'm not really interested. You know what I mean? When you're just yourself and you're just being, and you're kind of like, I don't really want to get anything out of this.
When you're
Right.
not chasing.
When you're not chasing,
When
that's
you're not
such a
chasing,
relief.
they don't
That's
run.
Such
Yeah.
a relief.
Yeah.
and that's when you like intertwine with it. Because
Yeah.
like I was talking to Kenny, you know, we went to this conference, and I was not, you know, I'm thinking work.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, you know, someone that I was working with, he was like, you know, she was all over you. I was like, I didn't have any idea because I wasn't.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
You weren't
I
thinking
I
that.
just wasn't like, I'm
those are
gonna.
those are the perfect times.
Yeah.
aren't they? Yeah. And I feel like, well, for me, my testosterone has ruled most of the situations when I'm with women, and I can't be authentic with them because there's this think, am I gonna have sex with this woman?
Yeah.
You know,
So
she likes
preoccupation.
me, and yeah, maybe, you know, and then of course I just can't be present. I can't, and I'm thinking, and so it's so hard to get the sexual thoughts, the sexual. It's really a muscle you have to exercise.
Yeah.
Really.
Now that is like.
No, I mean.
I know what you mean. And
Yeah,
it feels
you're
like
just thinking-
owning your dick, so your dick doesn't
Own you. Yeah, exactly.
Who's going to be in charge?
Right.
It or you?
Yeah.
And there's a time and a place to hand power over to it, I'd say.
Yes, definitely.
But for it to be always in charge, and easier said than done sometimes, because, you know, them be powerful tools. It's
Right.
like, how do you tame? I remember after speaking to your brother once, we were walking in the forest, and I actually got a T-shirt made when he gave me the line, "Owning a penis is like being chained to a madman." And it's true
True.
sometimes.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
this unruly thing that a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people think it's cool to be owned and ruled by.
Right.
Well, that's for boys. You're supposed to learn how to own it
Right.
and own your creative power and own your potency
Mm.
and grow with that.
Mm.
And then direct that creative energy and direct your power. Easier said than done.
Yeah, it
and
is.
it's something that I think is very rarely discussed.
Mhm.
Now, we've got distracted by your love life.
Okay.
And I haven't got a problem with that, but we need to go into a break quite soon, and then
Right.
we'll come back for you to check in with your Christmas, Bertie. But, you know, I just love hearing the way that you have stepped into your own place
Mm.
inside of yourself as well as in your environment, and you have boundaries. And I wonder whether you're actually pleased that you didn't find a replacement relationship for your sense of self, and whether you know.
Yeah, I feel pleased. I feel, and flirting and but also taking my sexuality with me.
Mm.
You know, it's like, but it's and not the whole thing, the whole enchilada.
So you've had space to chase women, be chased, break hearts, have broken hearts, and not really get into a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have a relationship with you that you wouldn't have had if you found a replacement.
Yeah, and
woman
all
for a
those
sense of self.
relationships have informed me. I've been through a lot, so yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Tell us about Christmas, Bertie.
I don't know. I'm feeling a bit fuzzy-headed, so I was finding it a bit hard to follow the conversation and engage. And Christmas, the subject, really just doesn't bring up anything for me.
Fair enough.
Where are you going? You're going to be with your parents? Or?
Yeah, I'll be with my family just for a couple of days.
I've made the executive decision to leave it on
Oh, fine.
because it's boiling in here.
Okay.
So we could all use a bit of cold air. And you can't really hear it, to be fair.
No.
We're talking
Yeah.
about the fan.
The fan, not Bertie.
Yeah, so I'll spend a couple of days with my family. And apart from that, it just feels like normal, everyday life.
Mm.
Just
Still not a biggie
Yeah.
for you, really.
Hmm?
Well, not a biggie for you.
No.
And the fuzzy-headedness, is it part of your illness, or are you just...
It could be, yeah.
Mm.
Just don't feel very present or sharp.
Mm. Do you feel like you should be?
Nah.
That's good. So we can all chill out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no shoulds, yay.
Yeah. Freedom. Anything you want to say about anything? Or shall we move on? I'm easy.
No, I guess try and make it interesting, Paul.
I've tried to fill your space. Something interesting. No pressure.
Yeah.
Who needs to put on a good show, though? Who needs to be interesting?
I don't know. Am I the only one finding it hard to engage the conversation?
Okay.
A little
Why,
bit.
why
but
do you find it hard? Why do you find it hard to engage?
I don't know. Just not feeling it.
Is it too overwhelming? Is it
No.
is it because
Is it the heat in here?
No.
So answer his question. I'm finding it
He's all stuffed up?
quite easy to
You're all
engage.
stuffed up?
Yeah.
I'm finding it a little bit hard, but I mean, I got like 3 hours sleep last night, so,
Mm.
you know.
It's probably because you're all stuffed up.
Yeah.
You're all there's all your sinus passages, and you're just like. Ugh.
And you're probably still in holiday mode. When did you get back from your holiday?
Monday.
That's what I mean. You're what, for 2-3 days? Like, you're still in like chill out, don't focus, walk on the beach mode, aren't you? You're
Where did you go?
Lisbon.
Oh, Lisbon. Oh, nice.
I was ill the whole thing there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Stayed in the hostel for 4 days.
Did you really?
Oh,
Oh, man,
no.
that sucks.
Mm.
Honestly, that's horrible.
No wonder you're kind of blah.
Yeah.
This is like.
It was really annoying.
No,
Nothing worse.
Mm.
When you go away and you're ill.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nothing worse. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's such a crushing defeat.
Mm.
I've had it before. You book time off work and you just lie in bed and you're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to go out and do stuff, and it's like I've just been confined to these 4 walls.
Mm.
So maybe that's a bit why you're a bit. Maybe Bubba, you were sick. You know.
And maybe
Oh, yeah.
there's no need for a reason, and you
Mm.
just how you are, and that's fine. I haven't
Mm.
got a problem with it.
Mm.
It sounded like you're a bit. That's frustrating. I would be frustrated
Mm.
You mean
if I
with the
went to
holiday?
Lisbon and stayed in a room.
Yeah, yeah.
So so you're probably a bit like fuck this. Fuck.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a bit American because I've been in America for half my life, but I've been educated in England, and I know there's this attitude in England about stiff upper lip. Just if you're feeling
calm,
like if
carry
you're
on.
feeling like shit, keep it in and just weather it. And whereas in the States, if they're feeling like shit, they let everybody else know. They really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like rampant rage, road rage, and all sorts of stuff.
Mm.
But at
I
least
love the British Reserve. I love it, and I love being in Britain again and being British. Yeah.
Mm. Right, shall we move to Paul?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry.
yeah, Christmas for me. I really enjoy the time with family. I was saying earlier about the kind of retail thing, but like the family part of it, I really like Christmas Day and Boxing Day, just having the kids home and my brother will come round and his girlfriend, and we just play silly games, eat loads of food. I just like that.
What kind of silly games, like Pictionary?
We kind of make up our own games.
Oh, really?
We've I've been thinking of a couple of games for this year, but usually we do some sort of guess the theme, like music theme to a movie or something,
Right.
or guess the song type thing.
All right.
But I was watching this comedy show, and they were doing this kind of quiz. It's really simple. It's like 2 boxes. There's a carrot in one box. The idea is to try to win the carrot. Sounds like a poor person's Christmas, doesn't it? But essentially, it's a bluffing game, and if I've got the carrot in the box, I'm trying to get Bertie to swap my box, or he's trying to get me to swap it.
Right.
I'm going to lie about it, but it's, it's
So you're
just
trying
fun.
to keep the carrot, or
You're trying to keep the carrot. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're trying to bluff him to be like, you don't want what's in this box.
So I might say, if I've got the carrot in my box, I might say, no, there's no carrot in here. And he won't look in his box. Only one of us can look in the box. So he's going to go, well, maybe I want to swap. Or so it's like kind of reading poor man's poker. That's what it is. It's poor man's poker. So
It sounds like you like the being together aspect.
yeah, I do.
The not doing and the not buying, just hanging out, eating, having space, playing games, whatever.
Definitely, yeah. And it's absolute chaos. It's like we all rip the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of piss taking going on at Christmas in our family. Everybody's quite sharp with their tongue, so you kind of
Excellent.
get this cuss off going
Needling.
on. It's like me and Bertie
Needling.
going out for lunch. We just end up ripping the shit out of each other in a friendly, loving kind of way. But we have that banter going on. So
Does
which
it
is-
ever turn sour? Do people ever cross the line, or alcohol, or
Yes,
paranoia?
not-
Or,
No, I cross the line in terms of food,
right.
and I'm lying on the floor and I'm in pain. That's probably the only line
As
that
bad
gets
as it
crossed.
gets.
One too many sausage rolls. But it's completely different to say my mum's Christmas, for instance. So
How come?
like it took me a while to separate my Christmas from her Christmas because after my dad passed away, which was 30 years ago now, it's like this year was the anniversary of that.
Wow.
30 years. She hated Christmas. It was really stressful.
Yeah.
Having just her and bringing up two boys, and I guess the stress of having to buy presents and stuff like that. She was she hated it, and she still does. So if I talk to my mum on the phone, she's stressed at this time of the year, even though there's nothing.
Christmas
to do.
is stressful. Last year, me and my brother, we decided we were going to do Christmas for my
Right.
mum.
Yeah.
And we're talking, one person, two people, including my nan. And it was like, we were like, wow, this is hard.
Mm.
Like, we didn't appreciate how much work goes into this. You got to
Yeah.
go out and buy all the food, you got to bring it home, you got to prep it, and then you got bags of food, and it's like, what do I do with the other food I need to
Yeah.
eat? And then you got to wake up and cook it and set the table. I was like, wow, this is like work.
Yeah.
Kind of,
I think the organising for it, if you're not used to cooking for lots of people, then
Yeah.
it's kind of like a big.
But it's funny.
pressure, isn't it?
We were, I remember sitting around the Christmas table, and me and my brother were talking to my mum, saying like, "Wow, we didn't realise like how much
Yeah.
work you used to put into this." You know what I mean? Like, you really did. Like, this wasn't for us. It was 2 weeks off school. For you, this was like 2 weeks in the trenches, sort of thing. You were out every day shopping. This and the other, so
And they make it look so natural as well. It's
Yeah.
like you're just enjoying the day, and it's like it just magically appeared.
yeah, exactly.
Father Christmas just dropped this
Yeah.
shit through the chimney.
There was just a big turkey on the
Right.
table, a couple of puddings, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Christmas miracle."
It is. Yeah. So my mum tends to sort of isolate herself away at Christmas now, so she sort of doesn't want to get involved. She's living up north now as well, so it's not so easy for her to come round.
Right.
Her partner's a bit of a humbug.
Oh, really?
Might edit that bit out. But so I can't be around that
Yeah.
Christmas. I don't want it to ruin my Christmas with family. So we
Yeah.
tend to do Christmases in different spaces and all that.
So, in a way, Christmas-wise, she's still grieving or
definitely,
traumatized. or-
definitely, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's still there. It's not really past. So she's not really moved on from that
Yeah.
survival. Definitely.
Yeah. Because you've got choice and boundaries, and it sounds like you've created your own family as well.
Yeah, I think the kids have just they've helped me to see the magic in Christmas again,
Yeah.
and just playing games with them, and
Yeah.
endless years of building Lego kits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But kits are a should.
Yeah.
What did Lego do when they shoulded Lego with the
Yeah.
kit? I like bricks and bits. And
Oh, you like just building,
How-
right?
exactly.
just
That's
the blank
creative.
template.
That's
How old were the
creative.
kids when you first celebrated Christmas with them?
So 10 years ago, Oliver would have been 9.
Yeah.
I think 9 and 13.
And that
maybe
age, you
13,
just
yeah.
that's that whole interaction of building
Yeah.
Lego together and figuring
Definitely,
things
yeah.
out, and then playing games. I love
Yeah.
playing games
Yeah.
because that's the best way to interact.
What are you
It's
talking
just-
about at that age? I'm 24. I still love doing it.
Yeah,
There's
but-
no change there. You know?
Yeah, but well, kids it's just so I don't know. It's but it's
Yeah.
also with adults too. Yeah, adults need to do this.
No, I'm still a kid. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I think as well because I buried that part of me, like the
Yeah.
child part. I grew up really quick at the age
Mhm.
of 13, trying
Yeah.
to take responsibility for the rest of the family and stuff. So the kids came along and they reminded me of that. And then I
Right.
was a bigger kid than them, and I was the one that was getting into trouble and eating these sweets. And like, calm down now.
So you got another opportunity
Another
to have your
opportunity, yeah.
childhood
Yeah,
beyond the grief,
yeah,
and you just got to do it again.
yeah.
You're really
Yeah.
lucky.
Mm.
Good on you.
Yeah, the kids have shown me that, and I think kids have a good way of kind of just showing you stuff,
Yeah.
about yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Hmm.
and are you doing all the cooking?
no, Anna will do the cooking.
Really?
She's good for
big
she's
feasts.
just really good with that stuff and all that. Yeah, I just hover around and try to steal a wing or something, or some food off the side and just get in the way. But yes, I won't step in the kitchen at that point.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Done?
Yeah, done. Yeah.
Do you know, I'm a little bit blank with Christmas this year. I'm chuffed that we're not going anywhere. I'm chuffed that we don't have to travel to Italy or Wales or whatever, because travelling is a pain in the arse, and all the people and the frenzy and the crowds and carrying stuff. I really can't be bothered, especially with this cold. And I'm really chuffed that we're going to be at home and we're going to buy a tree, and we've got baubles from Liberties.
Oh, check you.
I know. I'm gonna whip out my Liberties baubles, and also a live tree. The tragedy about live trees is these days they don't smell of anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm short on the live tray.
What do you mean?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, because it kills the trees and stuff.
You know what? I wasn't even going to go there. It just makes a mess.
I
That's how like shallow I am. I'm like, no, fuck the tree. It's my living room. It's my living room. I don't know what to say. No, you get the needles everywhere.
But that's Christmas.
Everywhere. No, and it's just
And the
such a
pine smell everywhere.
the pine smells a good
That's
thing.
what
but
I want.
It's gone though, isn't it? You
It's
don't
gone.
get it,
They spray things, or they newt their trees or
Yeah,
something.
you
I don't
can put a
know.
pine spray. Oh god, disgusting.
that fake horrible.
Yeah.
That doesn't smell good. But
Can't
you-
you just get a plastic tree and hang toilet duck, from the pine fragrance from the
plastic tree is the
Plastic
best. You set it up, you put it there, no aggro, nothing.
Oh, they're
no
like
mess.
kind of umbrellas. You just sort of
Yeah, they literally are.
Literally,
they
are they?
literally are. You
Oh,
just go like
bloody
clack,
hell.
clack, and it's like boom, Christmas. You know. Whereas the going out and getting, like we used to do it when we were kids. I remember.
Yeah.
And
And
it's such a faff, man.
It is such a faff, and I'm not a fan of faff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was dreading it every time with the kids. With my kids, I was waiting until I think it was 10 days before, a week or 10 days before Christmas, and I'd be like, okay. My wife would say, okay, you have to go and get the Christmas tree. And I'm like, do I have to?
The only time I'd get a live Christmas tree, if I lived in the mountains of Norway somewhere, I'd go out there with my axe and
brilliant.
claim my own tree. Because again, it's the same thing. You just go to a guy in a parking lot, don't you? And you're like, yeah, I just want that one. Well, I can't also, you know what I mean? Just get a plastic one from Argos, £1, happy days, done.
Christmas
And it's
tree. Like you're killing it. It's
No, I love Christmas, but I'm just not a fan of the tree. Like I said, if I'm going to get a live tree, the only way I'm going to do it now is if I go out there and get it myself, like wilderness, survivor style, Bear Grylls.
Strangely, in my world, Christmas has equalled family, and New Year has equalled friends. Like, who is my friendship group? Who do I belong with? Who do I want to be with? Who do I want to party with, etc.? So rather than talking about New Year, shall we do another round basically about friends, current friends, past friends, and the whole friendship issue? Because it can be a really weird thing these days. Dating's bad enough, but a lot of men don't have one friend or one person they can really trust or talk to or belong with without pretending to be someone that they should be, like an alcoholic or I don't know, a lech or something. So shall we do? Why are you?
What's a lech?
A lech. What's a lech? Someone that leches at women and is disrespectful type thing.
A creep. Okay, fine. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Kind of a wet
Christmas
rag
over,
or something.
We didn't do your Christmas.
Thank you for noticing.
Oh my!
Thanks for noticing.
God.
I was trying to see.
Because you've talked so much about Christmas that I forgot how very rude.
I'll just shut up. Well,
and that's why Paul is better than me at facilitating men's. He includes everyone. I'm just here for my entertainment.
Just here for a good show.
Over to you.
Do I get to speak now?
I guess.
Christmas. Do you know what? Pass. No. Christmas has always been a weird time for me, and it's especially weird this year because being from a divorced family, we always alternate the Christmases. So 1 year it's with mum, 1 year it's with dad, and it's like, what do we do? Boxing Day, whatever. So it's always been like quite weird, if that makes sense, because it's like I'll kind of have like the two Christmas thing, where it's like we'll do Christmas like a week early with like one parent, and then I do the proper thing a week later. But with my nan being really ill, it's probably going to be her last Christmas, and she's always been very influential in the whole Christmas process for my mum. But this year it's dad's turn for Christmas, so it's kind of like...
Is that negotiable? Do you want to be with him at Christmas this year?
I think it's fair. That's the problem. It's like if we did Christmas with mum last year, we've got to do Christmas with dad this year.
For their sake.
Yeah, I just think it's fair, right?
Isn't that interesting?
They get to be with their children, i.e. me.
It's like the children are taking care of the needs of the adults.
Oh, that's the story of my life. Right, come on. I knew that one a long time ago.
And if you said, I mean, not that I'm suggesting this, just curious, if you said to your father, I want to do it with
I said, I did, and he said, what about your other nan? She's not very well either. I'm like, yeah, but she ain't got stage 4 cancer and, 3-4 months to live. But doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is that his mum?
That's my mum's mum.
Okay.
Who is the one that I always kind of bring up in the groups, is I refer to as my mum's mum, because she was when my parents divorced, I lived with my mum, and it was my mum's mum that filled in the role of my father. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? She was kind of the more authoritative figure in the house. You've met my mum. She couldn't punish anyone. You know what I mean? She couldn't do anything. So she's very influential. So I spoke to my father about it. I was like, look, can we bend the rules this year? He was having none of it, and I thought, oh, great. So, and then it's like, I've got to tell my mum, I've got to be like, hey, but I love Christmas, really. Don't like Christmas trees. I'm sure you've gathered. But I like Christmas. But it's going to be a weird one this year, I think.
It gets pretty political, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what about from a parent's perspective with Christmas, you know?
We had wonderful Christmases. I separated from my wife when the kids were 18 and 16, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was like they were a bit older.
Yeah.
In fact, I think my wife stayed with me because she didn't really want to traumatize the kids.
Yeah.
So we kept it copious for quite a while. Now my son's 22. And I said, well, what are you going to do for Christmas? He said, well, I want to be with my friends down in the south of France. And my daughter is with my ex in California. And I've gone all the way to California and had Christmas. So occasionally I'll have Christmas with them. I just spent
California Christmas has got to be weird, no? Beautiful sun, hot weather. It's Christmas time.
It's beautiful.
Christmas.
Yeah, it's still a bit chilly, but it's so nice. Yeah, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. The weather is not even an issue.
You don't even think about it, right?
Yeah, it's not even an issue. But I look at it every day. When I lived there, I looked at it every day, and I just felt so lucky, having come from London and England. I just felt so lucky, and I don't think people living there realized how lucky they were. You know. But yeah,
for sun every day.
Yeah, because the weather affects mood, and if you go up to Edinburgh, they have the most heroin addicts because of the sun. There's a lack of sun, and we get a lot from the sun that people don't realize.
We do. Yeah. They say it's the best. They say if you, it's like one of those travel tips I read somewhere. You should, if you're jet lagged, you should go lie in the sun. because the melatonin or something will regenerate you. I don't know the science behind it.
Going back to what we were saying about the family stuff with your grandmother, it's like for a lot of people, I am sure Christmas is pain because of who's not there, and that's something you've experienced with your father, and a place where your mother still is. And I wonder how many people who've lost a loved one, could be a parent, a partner. You know, there's one old guy who comes to the group, so I'm kind of dreading his Christmas because he is in so much pain, grieving the loss of his wife on a daily basis, and then Christmas is coming. So yeah, it's like it's all supposed to be jolly and buy things and eat and drink and be merry, but the tragedy, the pain that can come up over Christmas. But anything else you want to say with the Christmas?
Well,
thing?
I know that for my mum, Christmas is very hard because it was actually Christmas Eve when my father left.
Wow.
So she's never really been good around Christmas, and then the whole, you know, her mum not being well, and then it's like, oh, your father's just running off again, but this time with you two, and you're not going to be here for Christmas, and it's like, well, it's not, you know, what do you want me to do? I don't know what to do, sort of thing. I'm trying to juggle both camps, so that's kind of what I wanted to say on Christmas. But normally I love Christmas. I hate retail Christmas. I'm working near Oxford Circus, so there's nothing worse than that hell, I call it, when you get to Oxford Circus at like 6 o'clock on Christmas. It's just the infestation of people, I call it, you know, the virus of people sucking all the life out of it. But I'm a big fan of Christmas.
Is that when you leave your Christmas shopping too, then? That's why I
hate it so much.
With all the other blokes rushing around. What do I get my mum? What do I get my girlfriend?
What do I do? I love Christmas is also, it's funny, when I was 19 or something, like I went through that whole teenage year and I never cried. Never ever cried. And I remember one Christmas I was sitting with my brother and we watched It's a Wonderful Life. And at the end of that film,
that works.
At the end of, you know, when they were putting the money in the thing, even I can feel it getting me now. I just burst into tears. I cried for like a good half an hour. I don't know why I did. I was just full blown tears. And every year we watch that film together, and every year I cry.
Excellent.
And I have no idea why, but it's got to be some sort of release or something.
Yeah.
You know what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, I remember last year it was just the, because it's weird. It's almost, for me, it's like the symbolic end of the day. If that makes sense. And I know last year when we were doing all the cooking and like we were being the parents for my mum and my nan, and we were being the responsible adults, it was like we sat down on the sofa, little glass of champagne, we watched It's a Wonderful Life, and it was like, you know what I mean? It was like a release sort of thing. But yeah.
And that story is so interesting because he doesn't think that he's worth anything.
Yeah.
And then I think and he's like fighting. He's like that he's not worth anything. He wants to give it all in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us want to do that.
Yeah.
Every one of us has felt that place. Why am I here? What am I? I'm not.
No one's going to miss me.
I'm a waste. No one's going to miss me. I'm a waste of space. And then the angel shows him what life would have been like without him there. And it's just so incredibly moving. And then I start to think, well, yeah, if I wasn't here, my kids wouldn't be here. And so many things wouldn't be here if I hadn't been here. And it's like, it's not even about kids. It's about my brothers and my interaction, with I'm the oldest of 6 children. So, so it's this incredible.
It's an incredible story of like worth, isn't it?
Yeah, worth.
Like,
that's it, exactly, worth.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing of it. And I cry every time I see that.
I cry every time.
And that movie did so badly when it first came out, apparently. And now it's like it's a must-see.
It's a Christmas classic. You know? It's that film every time. I don't know what it is about that film, but I cry and cry and cry. They start singing Old Lang Syne at the end, and it's like, man, I can't take it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I gotta cry. So I don't know what it is. That and Wall-E always gets me.
So shall we move on from...
I do have one last thing I want to say, which is funny about Christmas. So my cousin, his birthday is December 1st, and he's just turned 17.
Yeah.
And, he's at that phase in his life where he's, like, shaved his head. he's doing boxing. You know, he's too cool to hang out with me anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I went and saw him the other day. He's being all miserable and moody, and I said to him, enjoy this time. I was like, this is your moment to be who you want to be. I was like, go shave your head, go boxing, go do drugs. You know what I mean? I was like, this is it. This is your moment. You know. That's what I said to him. I don't know. I think that was a good thing to say.
Well,
I
go do drugs.
I was like, go do any. No, yeah. I said, look. I said, this is your moment. I said, go do whatever you want to do. I was like, don't do none of the hard stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want to be getting a phone call from you at 4:00 in the morning, like my friend's overdosed on heroin. You know what I mean? But I said to him, I was like, look, this is it. I always wish someone had said to me at that age that you can go out and rebel now. Like, give me permission, almost, sort of thing. Because maybe I wouldn't have rebelled. You know, it's kind of that Jedi mind trick. Of like, yeah, go do drugs. And he's like, well, fuck, I'm not going to do drugs. You know, like the old geezer told me to, so I'm not going to do it. Sort of thing. But I don't know, it was happy to see him where I was at that age. You know, he's got a girlfriend now, hanging out with his girlfriend, don't want to speak to me. I'll go around now, I'm like, happy birthday. He's like, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah. I go to give him a hug, he's like, don't touch me, don't give me a hug. I'm like, geez, I changed your diapers. Do you know what I mean? So, but it was just cool. I just thought I'd mention that. And Christmas, he's like, I'm not doing Christmas with the family this year. I'm going out with my friends Christmas Eve.
And that becomes the chosen family. That's what I was saying earlier about Christmas with family, New Year's with friends.
But I think it's just that age, isn't it? I remember being that age, and it was like I just wanted nothing to do with the family.
Well, and I wonder how that changes. Let's do a round on that. It's like, where do we belong? Who are our community? Who are our chosen family? And it could be other males, it could be not. But who have we chosen to bring out the best in us? And even, I guess, for you, Paul, because you've gained a lot of popularity, you're known, and now you're moving on. I wonder how that is as well. It's like you've got your blood family, you've got your chosen family, and you're moving on into the great unknown. So do you want to kick us off with this, Bertie? Chosen family, old friends, new friends, belonging.
So it's just about any of those things?
Yeah. Where are you? Because you've recently had some old people show up as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so... yeah, I've had a weird thing with a guy who was like one of my closest friends from about age of 16 to 20 or 21 or something like that. He disappeared when we were about 20 or 21. Just kind of like went completely off the radar. And yeah, no one really knew what had happened, and we all tried to get in touch with him, and it just wasn't happening. And he finally got in touch with me yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So
after 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so that's probably like 5 or 6 years even.
It's a big deal, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is, I would reckon, like part of the reason why I'm like not quite sure what I'm feeling at the moment. And yeah, that's been strange. And we're going to meet up, which I'm really looking forward to seeing him. But I'm also, I guess I've just got a lot of mixed feelings about it. And yeah, it's been a weird time. There's another guy who I'm like hanging out with more, who I was best friends with from like when I was born to about the age of 10 or something. And we went to different schools at 10, or he went down to Dover or somewhere like that. But yeah, so that's been quite weird. Like we have again like loads in common, and we get along really well. We just don't make the space to hang out much, I guess. But yeah, that's really weird. Like hanging out with someone you know them so well as a kid and as like a toddler, and then you just don't know them as an adult. It's a really weird, strange place to be in.
So have you had to get to know yourselves and each other as adults, or do you just become kids together?
I think we've mainly just been kids together. Yeah. Like we've just been to the arcade. We've just met up twice, and we just went to the arcade both times.
Excellent. Was it fun?
It was really fun, yeah.
Great.
But yeah, so strange place with friends at the moment, and I guess the chosen family thing. Like, I definitely feel like my chosen family is kind of guys I've met through MenSpeak, and it's been it's like I guess I really value the guys who I met through MenSpeak, because in general they have just like depth, and they can talk about real stuff, and do all that, as well as just like banter and joke around. It's just so rare to find people like that in just everyday life. I don't even know if they exist. And it was funny, like, before I joined MenSpeak, I used to think, I guess people like that were boring. People that like talked about stuff seriously, and I used to think it's not cool or something. And I wanted to hang out with my old friends who all we did was just like take the piss and joke around, and that was what I wanted to hang out with and be around all the time. But now it's like I can't do that for.
Is it either or can it be?
No,
both?
It can be both.
Yeah.
But like now, if I'm around someone who's like, that's their only thing they can do, is just like have like the superficial stuff.
Yeah.
Just can't be around them for long.
It gets boring really quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
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 No space to be met.
So have you been able to take any of who you are with us, with the MenSpeak community, into your old friendship groups or into your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that works. You can spread it and share it.
Yeah, but maybe it shares it, but I think people are. It's very hard to change people, and no matter like how, like, I'd have to see like people a lot, and I don't know, and they'd have to want to engage like on a level of more depth or something. It's like I can't force that on people, and some people it's just like too scary or something to just like be real and not have to put up some kind of banter performance.
So in a way, would it be fair to say that it's the difference between buying a laying hen and just getting a pre-cooked, ready turkey? Here's one that's ready to hang out with, and here's one you're going to have to sit with for a bit to make it hatch.
You imply them with a bit of alcohol, some truth serum,
marinade. So where the pre-packed turkeys for you to hang out with.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it great to be able to just step in and you know that it's there? Cool. That's so nice to hear. And I'm really chuffed that you've got like that. You haven't excluded people from your life. That you're still open to people, rather than I have found the cult and none of you are worthy of me anymore. That's really excellent. Cool. And I know what it's like to have someone show up from my deepest, darkest, I forgot that's who I was kind of past, and it's like, well, how's that going to fit in with me now? They're not going to relate to me. I remember having a phone call with my best friend from school when I was in Wales, and I used to be a basket case with all my mental health, twitching and grunting and picking and body dysmorphia and OCD and everything. Absolute basket case. I wasn't, as far as I knew, popular. Since then, people have said they really liked me and I was popular. I was too busy being a basket case to notice. And I had this one best friend, and we used to laugh so much. And he used to sing in the choir and all of this. He was a nice boy from the valleys. And I remember quite a few years ago, we had a conversation on the phone for the first time, and he'd moved to Cardiff from the valleys for a while, and somehow I turned into whatever kind of beast you want to call me now, and he actually said during the call, "You've really changed and you're scaring me," and it was just so sweet. It's like, I didn't, not like that because I was scaring him.
I forgot who I was. I didn't know how to be that person anymore. I forgot who we were together. And it was hilarious. It was great fun. And there's a loss in me that we can't meet and share that. That was the past. It's a real loss. But that part of me needs to come alive. So I inflict it on you lot.
So wait a minute. So you haven't seen this person in 5 years, and you see him again. And what kind of person did he bring out in you when you met him? I mean, like
I haven't met him yet.
Oh, you haven't
no,
met
we've
him?
just exchanged a couple messages on Facebook.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So do you think you'll revert to the way you guys were together, or do you?
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah, and who is that guy? That guy that you don't like? That you don't like so much, or
No, there's parts of me that I do like that when we were together. But yeah, obviously, like, I guess with people like that in my life, the danger for me has been to kind of pretend that, you know, I'm the same as how I used to be,
Right.
and kind of stay on this, like, you know, surface level banter level, and then I just feel kind of shitty after that if I'm faking it.
Yeah, because old friends can take you back like and you're a child again. You know, so it'd be interesting to see how you are when you're with him, and whether you can be yourself that you are now with him.
Do you not think that's needed a little bit of that, like, childishness? You kind of need somewhere to be like a child and to have that, like, carefree child fun.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's nice to just, like Paul said, be silly and kind of get into trouble, like you did when you was a child, sort of thing, which is not serious trouble, but I think there's a space for it. I think it could be quite a nice thing to see an old friend and go back to those kind of school days, sort of thing.
I think it's really healthy as well to not have one person. Some people have a wife or a girlfriend. It's like, you are custodian of all my parts, all my vulnerability and my anger and my fear and my love and my debrief and my therapist and my mummy and the one that I take things out on, and so it goes on. But to have a variety of people to bring out these different parts of me, for these parts to be met, is well worthwhile. Over to you, Paul. Do we only have 15 minutes left?
We have 17 minutes.
We'd better step it up, eh? Right.
So we can forget me again, it's fine.
You really think I have enough depth of feeling to give a shit? Over to you, Paul.
James, you're behind all the buttons. It just seems like
you've
already got your toys. Yeah,
I do have my toys, that's for sure. I do have all my toys.
What was the question?
Chosen family, friends, belonging, tribe, moving on in your case.
Yeah, I suppose because of the travel next year, I'm trying to cram in seeing everybody at the moment. I'm trying to sort of catch up with everybody, and all of a sudden I just see the value of all the friendships I've got.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was joking earlier about coming for a free men's group today, but when I saw who was, you know, coming, I was like, oh, cool, chance to hang out with people that I like. You know? And so for me, it's just like hanging out with friends. It's been cool. I guess the travel's made me realise how important people are to me.
Yeah. And when, I'm guessing after your father, I wonder whether then or before then you were more on duty to take his place rather than available to be one of the boys, just being normal and playing and hanging out. And I know the tragedies in my life have cost me because I wasn't just another boy, carefree, playing and hanging out and growing with the other boys. So I wonder if that's had a difference, and how you've gained popularity and friends to hang out with beyond taking care of people and beyond the old role.
Yeah, it had a massive impact on me. So when my dad passed away, I felt, it's like I said earlier, instantly responsible for family.
Yeah.
So then I felt like I had to grow up quick. So then I remember actually pushing a couple of good friends away from me, my best friend and another guy.
Why?
Just, it's like playtime's over.
Yeah.
I need to be an adult now. I was probably 14 at the time.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, I need to be an adult. I need to provide. I need to, mum's struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
I need to go and find some work. I mean, what work is a boy going to do at 14?
Yeah.
And then I guess in that kind of growing up phase, I kind of rebelled every now and again. So I was an adult in a boy's body, but then I would rebel as a boy, and I'd get myself into loads of trouble and stuff like that. So it was like...
So you needed space for both.
Yeah. So that, I guess the space was kind of just forced with the kind of boy trying to get out and just get attention. And, their friendship didn't come to a lot longer for me. I really struggled with the concept of that because I was too busy trying to save people, and trying to look for the problem, look for the issue. How can I help you? How can I be, responsible for you? And it wasn't healthy.
So how did it shift?
Yeah, good question. I don't know what exactly happened to make it shift, but I suppose part of dropping the responsibility helped, and then it made space for that kind of friendship to come in after.
So
friendship.
Did you attract different people when you changed the role?
Yeah, I did. I sort of just went, enough of this saving people.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was this space. But I struggled in the early days. I was like, what is this?
How do I do this?
Yeah, exactly.
How am I supposed to do this if you're not showing me your pain and I can't fix you? Can you play the game of relationship, please? Now, there must be some shit going on here that I can save you from.
Yeah. I expected it. Like, to hang out with people, I expected it to be hard work.
Right.
Because, prior to that, clients, people that were around me, with me, I was on duty, so it was hard work. It was, what do I need to fix here? What's the problem?
I've just had a really weird memory. I remember leaving... What do you call those places that we stayed in Morocco? What do you call that place?
Riyadh.
Riyadh.
Yeah.
Stepping outside our Riyadh, waiting for the others, and the three of us, Yumi and Max, were outside. And without saying a word, this is stupidity in allowing the child to play. Without saying a word, I put both my hands out, and you both trustingly held my hands, and before you knew it, we were skipping down the lane.
You're thinking of somebody else. I wasn't there.
That was hilarious.
Busted.
That wasn't me.
But, I wonder, for the three of us, whether that trip, so it was the group that you weren't in, the fourth Thursday closed group, self-organised, the trip to Morocco, Menrocco. And this was the second time we went out, and Max came. I think it was it before you... No, you were in the group already.
Yeah, I was just in the group.
Right.
It was new. I was the new one, I think.
Yeah.
And then it was in November, I think it was.
That's right. Yeah, we were there for International Men's Day.
Right.
And I remember how...
It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I feel the three of us were in a different place of now this is playtime, and how do we play without having to fix or save or be responsible and just be free and stuff like that. And it was amazing. It was amazing to be in a place where it's like Star Trek. We have landed on this mysterious planet that we now have license to explore without any shoulds, without anyone telling us where to go or what to do. And there was one guy who wanted to tell us where to go and what to do.
I wanted to tell you what to do.
Exactly.
You weren't having any of that.
Oh my God. That's one of the best. I don't often get a chance to shout. But so, to cut long story short, we were on the roof. There was some guy flirted with Des like there's no tomorrow, saying, I'll show you around Morocco or Essaouira, or where were we? Was it Essaouira or was Fez? I'll show you around Fez. Yeah. And then I said to you lot, wait a minute, do we want to be shown around Fez or do we want to explore? And we were upstairs checking in right at the beginning, and we agreed that we don't want someone to show us around. We want to explore, and we're not going to be owned by this guy, irrespective of whether he's decided that we now are his property. So when the guy downstairs let him up onto the roof and he started shouting and arguing, the roles that you and I played, I think, particularly were amazing, because he was lunging towards me. How dare you take... Who do you think you are? And I think I shouted something like, get off our roof. And I bellowed, and it was just, I love shouting. I'm just rarely have the opportunity. Meanwhile, you stepped in and you heard him. Rather than it being him against me, he was actually heard, and I thought you were impeccable. And between us, somehow, we wrestled him off our roof.
I just felt sorry for the guy because he was just being dominated by you. Because I think the position as well, where we were standing down the steps, and your voice, I'd never seen you like that before. It was like, fucking hell, Kenny. He was like, where's that coming from? Such a small guy. I need to step in and stop this guy from having a punch up. But the guy was kind of like, I think he, like you said, just needed to be heard.
Yeah.
And then he sort of calmed down.
Yeah.
And then I think you calmed down a couple of days later.
But it became our trip. It was our adventure. And I remember you choosing the room that you chose, which was amazing. And it's like, am I allowed the trip? Of course you're allowed that room. It was brilliant. And that space for us, it's so important. Anyway,
we had the whole Riyadh to ourselves.
It was like a
miracle. That was it was so damn cheap too. Ridiculous. Yeah.
It felt like, for me, like going on a school trip, revisiting that stuff without all of the bullying and all the other stuff that happened when I went on the school trip at school. It was like, this is actually people I want to be around. Have some fun. I feel safe, not, some nasty fucker bullying in school, and not wanting to go to sleep because,
you don't know what's going to happen.
One of the nights on at school, on a school trip, guy put toothpaste all around this guy's mouth when he was sleeping. I was like, and then chucked all his clothes out the window.
Yeah,
it's like the kind of shit you had to sort of
stupid
stuff. Yeah, it's just like, and then no wonder boys do that as they go into men, and it just carries on, doesn't it?
Well, no wonder you
feel
feel hostile.
Yeah,
amongst like men. No wonder you don't feel like you can be connect with these men, because the moment you shut your eyes, they're drawing stuff on your face.
That's a pissing contest, really, as well. It's like, if they really appreciate it. I mean, that particular event in Fez, Morocco, we were all enjoying each other's company, and there was no competition, and there was no. But when growing up in boarding school, it was all competitive. It was like who could piss the furthest. It was just ridiculous, and everybody was kind of alone and miserable as a result of being so competitive.
Competition's very isolating, I find.
It can be, yes.
I think so.
Yeah, and it's the way it's done, It's like, there's only one winner. It's like, fuck off.
No, but it for me, it creates like a me and you scenario.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like I'm competing against you.
I'm stronger than you. You're weaker. It's just all this fucked up
and
stuff.
Those trains of thought are very isolating. I can't ask him for help because then he'll know my secrets.
Right.
And it's like I can't connect on that level, sort of thing.
I like team sports because you're really.
I do
as a whole team.
I do like competition. Like I'm quite a competitive person, but I definitely think. You meet those people who it's like it's just everything is a competition. I'm like, no, it's like we don't have to compete to how fast we can drink a cup of coffee.
That must be so exhausting.
I think one of the modern day tragedies, and this goes back to boarding school and everything else, is how can I be good enough to then connect with people and be in community? And it happens on social media, showing yourself, showing your body or your car or your chick or your whatever it is. And it's just like, cut the act. Connect now rather than dedicating life to being good enough and stepping on other people's heads to go higher. That's just plain rude. Just connect. Are we running out of time?
6 minutes.
That's ridiculous. What is it about the last couple of groups that we did? They weren't actually groups. It was just us hanging out and chatting.
Don't look at me. You're the moderator. You're the one that's supposed to mediate all of this. I just turn the microphones on,
You just turn on me.
Again,
what happened to healthy subservience? Paul, anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You are going to be seriously missed, I think.
Yes.
It's really weird. It's even irrespective of how much I see you. I don't know about you lot. It's just knowing that you're around, and suddenly you're not going to be around, and we're probably going to have to do some trip abroad to come and visit you.
Yeah. I'll still be around because I'll still be on online groups.
Yeah.
Still be doing that stuff.
All right.
Still going to keep in touch with people as much as I can. I'm not seeing it as on holiday or traveling, I still want to work as I'm moving around and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Especially when you describe getting rid of all your stuff, and you're going for the experiential life rather than the stuff life. Yeah. So it's great.
Yeah.
And I really love that you are doing the online groups. Especially what do you remember the dates that you're doing them over Christmas?
So there's one this Saturday,
Right.
and then there's one on the 27th, I think.
What
so it's
time?
the fourth Saturday of each month, I think.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, and it's 10:15 for a 10:30 start until 1 o'clock.
Cool.
2.5 hours.
And then I guess I every year put on a couple of groups somewhere between Christmas and New Year. And the object of the exercise, and men are so good at isolating and self-harming and committing suicide and stuff, it's ridiculous. I'd like men to be better at connecting with each other. If it's connect with someone first so you can connect with yourself, whatever way around. But I love that you are holding a space, and we're putting a space that people don't have to be alone and go bonkers and sad and start to lose it. It's like, don't connect and break the spell. And where do people go? Is it mensgroups.co.uk? Mensgroups.co.uk to find out what's on and where it's on, online and off. And I guess, in a nutshell, do you two want to say anything on this round of chosen family, belonging?
No.
Okay, well that was easy.
What do you mean by chosen family?
So there's blood family,
Right.
and which is related.
Yeah, which-
and
yeah.
chosen families who I choose
Oh, okay.
to be close to open up to care about, to let in,
Right.
stuff like that.
Gosh, the blood family has been so easy.
Because they're
and
just there.
I've been so lucky. They're just there. Yeah. And I traveled all growing up, so I didn't have deep roots with friends that don't go back too far.
Yeah.
And my brothers, they grew up in London, and they have deep friends here. They have like lots of friends. My family is where my roots are. All my brothers and sisters, and they are not here. They're not in England, and they're in the States and Costa Rica and all sorts of places. So, but I choose to feel the blood. The feel like they're like. I had my birthday alone, but they all called. A lot of them called me and stuff like that. Yeah. So.
How
Yeah.
dare you?
Um,
You weren't alone.
so
we
I
did
don't-
lunch.
So. I had lunch. Yes, we had lunch.
I'm not counted.
Yes, no, you
So
are,
much
you are,
for
you're
chosen
kind of. It's
family.
just, it's. Yeah, no. I had. Thank you very much. That's.
I was
wonderful.
kidding. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It feels like you're saying something similar to Paul, that it's not about being physically together. It's about feeling each other, choosing to be connected, and using technology to be around.
Yeah, I actually remember playing chess or something, or backgammon with my brother who was in Australia, Sean, when he was in Australia.
Yeah.
We played backgammon online while we were talking.
Wow.
So it's so fun to do games
Yeah.
while you're interacting, and the games are so important
That's
for
a really
for
good
interaction.
idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so there we go.
Right, we have 1 minute. What I always say at the end of men's groups, which is probably quite irrelevant here because we're all friends anyway, but generally at the end of, so your men's group you can download from mensgroups.co.uk, ground rules, checking around. At the end, remember to say that it is unfortunately normal that if people have stuff come up, especially males, that they might isolate, withdraw, rather than step forward and stay connected. So I always say at the end of men's groups, you can connect with anyone you've been in the group with, and no one is obliged to respond. Be clear about your own boundaries, but you can connect with me. So hopefully this will inspire you to be available, to love more, and here's some structure to do it. Here endeth our group.